of the best, so that you can really just get the information you need to drive your business to the next level. And of course, everything's being recorded, so you don't ever have to feel like you have to make every single session, although if you can, that'll be great. But if you can, it'll be recorded, and we'll go from there. So let's just check in, see if we got Lawton dialed in as well, and then I'll introduce him. We'll be on his way. All right, Lawton, are you there, buddy?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lawton.
All
so
right.
let me give an introduction for Lawton.
And
okay.
You might want to pass me the presenter.
Pass you the baton?
Yeah, I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think you actually have the baton, man. I could still see your screen, buddy.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well,
yeah, I could still see your screen. So let me give a quick introduction for those of you who don't know Lawton. I'm sure more than a handful of you are familiar with Lawton and who he is. So as I mentioned, when Todd and I sat back and looked at the program, we said we want the best of the best in the areas that we know are critical for you taking your business to that 6 to 7 figures and well beyond that. And copy, and having the best copy, and have compelling copy, and copy that converts, and copy that stands out, and copy that gets people to take action is absolutely critical to any business, whether you're you're doing a straight info product, you have a brick and mortar business, you're in the service, whether you're doing SaaS, doesn't matter. And so we sat back and we said, who's one of the best people we can get. And Todd's had a long-standing relationship and friendship with Lawton, and we were super excited when we approached him and he said yes. And I'll explain why. Lawton, you guys might have heard of a little internet marketer named Frank Kern. Lawton actually is regularly hired and paid by Frank Kern to do his copy. So Frank comes to Lawton, and when he needs copy that converts, he hires Lawton to do his work. Lawton is also regularly hired and paid to do copy review by a digital marketer. I'm sure you know Ryan Dyson, digital marketer. And so right now you are getting access to one of the best that we can get you access to. And the way this evening's going to work is Lawton's going to, in all our technical mastery sessions that we do together in MTAM, there's going to be a higher level, about 30-minute training at the beginning, just some cutting edge information, immediate tactical implementable strategies that you guys are going to get. And then after that, it's going to open up, and it might go about 90 minutes to even 2 hours, where you're going to be able to ask questions, share your work, whether, hey, I'm testing email subject lines, I need to work on my hook for my sales page. And Lawton's going to give you just his master feedback and critiques of your work. And again, everything will be recorded for you. One other quick housekeeping item. Again, these mastery calls are going to be happening on Tuesday evenings. Next week, we're going to have advanced implementation with Lou Cosolino. You'll get a note about that. Some of you might be familiar with Lou. He's a funnel architect and strategist, our top strategist here at MFA, and he is an absolute wizard. And what that's going to be all about, it's going to be about implementation, which for so many people is scary, right? It's easy to learn, it's easy to do something, but then saying, hey, I actually need to set up my opt-in page, hook it up to this, set up my upsell, set up my downsell, set up my exit page. And so Lou is actually going to hop on, not only walk you through that, but he's going to be doing work with you so that at the end, you're going to feel totally equipped, not only that you have gotten big pieces of work done, but that you're ready to go forth and do it on your own. So Lawton, without further ado, really, really excited, really grateful for you to be a part of the Mentor to a Million elite faculty here and running this session for us. So you ready to take it away, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Fantastic. Take it away, my man.
All right, cool. So I think everybody can see you'll see stuff open. That'll change right here. And again, and just type in the chat if you guys can see the screen, and I'll move this over here so I can see it. And again, happy to have everybody here. Let's see. Yeah, the chat is up at the top. There's like a little icon that's like a speech bubble. If you click that. Okay, yeah, if my voice goes in and out, we're having a pretty bad storm here, but hopefully everything will be, A-okay with the voice. But everything is being recorded, both by this program, and then I have ScreenFlow going as well, so hopefully everything will be cool. So first thing I want to talk to you about is something that I learned oh gosh, like 12, 15 years ago in doing this, and that is the ability to create desire for your products and services. And this usually is in the form of a long form sales letter, one of those huge 30-page monsters, or something in, something in the, in the video sales letter, of the things that we do, things like we're seeing right now, the ugly PowerPoint file. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and mute. Let's see. Actually, don't know how to mute everybody else, but so yeah, just making sure that everybody can see the screen again. If you can't see my screen with the PowerPoint, just comment in there. Just want to make sure that that you can. I think you can. So this is the first way to create desire and to create this type of feeling with your products and services, and that is to harness the curiosity already inside of your, already inside of the mind of the prospect. Okay, so in all of my years writing the copy for different people, whether it was like the gurus or something else, that I've written for, Mike Koenig, Trey Smith. I have written for Frank. I do a lot of things for agency clients. Usually Frank writes his actual own copy. Like the stuff that says Frank Kern on it. That's written by him. But basically, in all of my years of doing this one trick of writing bullets or fascinations, as we call them, will take your copy and take your salesmanship to a whole nother level of persuasion and influence. Really in record time. There's really nothing else that you could do in order to get ahead with creating desire for your products and services, no matter what it is. So basically, the funny thing is, it's like I've seen sales letters that are mostly bullet points, like 50, 60, 70 bullets. You look at the top copywriters in the world, John Carlton, Clayton Makepeace, the Halberts, Gary Halbert, Bond and Kevin Halbert. All of these people are masters at creating that little thing, which is what we call fascinations or bullet points. So one of the guys who was really instrumental in creating these type of things is Mel Martin, and he wrote a bunch of different bullets. This one right here on your screen: what never ever to eat on an airplane, the dirtiest, deadliest airline in the whole world. And this is one of the most famous and sort of revered pieces of curiosity. And you guys have all seen these bullet points when you're at the grocery store. If you look at like Cosmopolitan, or anything in your grocery aisle, they are bought and sold using these little, fascinations. And I'm going to show you in this training how to write some of them. Okay. A lot of times when you look at these magazines, you will see, okay, so the word sex is basically in the left-hand side of every single magazine. It's basically the same issue every single month with a different girl and maybe, some different fascination and bullet points in the copy. So, and these are all, in the copy here, right? So this one we'll talk in a minute, which is the numbers bullet, 15 snacks that slim you down, right? Another one could be, let's see. So this one, surprising mistakes that could harm your career. Well, another way to make this even more powerful is if they added a number to it, right? So 7 alarming mistakes that could harm your career. And the whole point of these magazines And the whole point of these fascinations is to get you to pick up the darn magazine through it and I have those answers inside. And one of those answers because will benefit and enhance your life in some way. You know, you even look at so that's the most, risque thing we'll probably look at. But men's health is the same way, right? So men's health, it's basically the same magazine. You'll see a bunch of fascinations, of benefits, get back in shape. This other one, get back in shape. It's literally like the same magazine. Flat belly foods, get back in shape another time, 17-day abs. So you'll start to see these same line things in the copy, but basically what I want to look at is fascinations, right? So I'm looking at, okay, so this one I see 25 superfoods for men, right? So, they're saying that you're going to learn 25 ways if you open up the magazine. So you'll start to see a bunch of numbers here, right? Numbers are one of the most easiest ways on planet Earth to build up bullet points. I mean, you could have, you could have almost an entire section of just bullets based on, the numbers. 53 fat loss secrets. Most of these also have the, those ones that say 1,000 women tell you, what they really want, in a man and all this junk. So this one, 31 days to a six-pack, 51 ways to burn fat. So they're not just saying they are saying burn, they are saying burn fat and, lean. So the lean muscle diet, 7-second metabolism boosters. They are saying, vague things like lean muscle diet, but they're also saying really specific numbered bullets, 87 simple health fixes, right? So those are one of the first things that, that we look at here with writing these type of things. Okay, how do we, number one, why are we writing the bullets? Well, the main thing is this stuff sold. And the main thing we do that is through curiosity. So if you go back to the bullet, probably something like a magazine, or it might have been for bottom line publications, but you just see this: what never ever to eat on an airplane, the dirtiest airline in the whole world. So when you open up this magazine, when you buy it in the store, you're going to learn the secret to that. But in order to do that, you have to buy something. You have to part with your money. So this one, the first one I wanted to talk about, first bullet point formula, is the how-to bullet, right? So, and this is the most common of bullet points, or fascinations, and you can see I've spelled that wrong. And why? And Boardroom is a publishing house. They do a lot of books and magazines, and if you write headlines for them or bullet points for them, you're not allowed allegedly to use the how-to bullet because they believe it's sort of like cheating for a writer. It's too easy to write. So this one was from Mel Martin's, how to get DIP treatment in hospitals, right? So something, and this we'll get into later, but something like it builds up a fascination with, okay, I want to be treated well in a hospital, but it's also like nobody gets treated like a VIP in a hospital. So it's sort of like a contrarian idea, This one I kind of, spiced up a little bit. How to instantly and without a doubt roll into you. You could say, on your first date. So, and I just added those things. So, you could say how to know if a girl is into you, on your first date, or you could kind of put in that that qualifier there, which increases that satisfaction and that desire that once they learn this, they'll know the secret, right? How to get an Oval Office tour of the White House. Okay, something also that you're not supposed to know, which is also what fascinations or bullet points sort of trigger is, hey, you're not supposed to know some of this stuff, but we're going to let you in on some of these secrets. We're going to let you in on these things that the powers that be kind of kept from you. We'll see that in a little bit. This one's Clayton Makepeace, how to make yourself safe 89% of other car passengers. Right, and then you would add like page 89, revealed on page 7. So they would have to open the magazine, or they would have to buy the piece or buy the training to learn how to make yourself 89% safer. And so a whole primer on bullets is to, never deceive, never lie in your bullet points, never make a promise that your bullet points can't keep, that your fascinations and bullet points can't keep. But at the same time, you want to make things as exciting as possible. So, like, can you instantly, without a doubt, know if a girl is into you? Probably not. But, it's like, you could say, like, how to honestly know if a girl is into you, right? So, little things like that you can add. So that's the first section that I wanted to kind of cover here. I did want to open it for any questions that anyone had. Yeah, dirty lying brides. I want to. That's hilarious. And you'll see that the language, is so sort of shocking with all of this stuff. If you look at, National Enquirer, which I can never spell Enquirer either, but so dirty secret of copywriters everywhere, can't spell. So National Enquirer, this is sort of off topic, but so Michelle Obama's plastic surgery scandal. I'm just going to show you in a second how these people are right. And then they use a lot of colloquial phrasing too. A slap in the face to America's courageous wounded warriors. Picking up the tab. So they use these colloquial phrases because this is how people talk. This is how people. This is how people talk. This is how people write. This is how people. This is how people. This is the way you're used to reading a bunch of writing, right? So sick, twisted wife. So it's not just his wife; it's his twisted wife, right? And the troubled couple. So they're using these descriptors, and they do a really good job, especially in the articles. If you actually go in and read the articles themselves, looking at the phrasing, a grand life. So that's sort of how the and if you want another thing, I don't really like these stupid little things, but basically these are all bullet points too. Drivers feel foolish for not knowing this one rule. It's a rule. It looks like it'll save me money. Let's see. 14 benefits most seniors didn't know they had. Tom Cruise's jaw-dropping admission is Scientology's worst nightmare. Here we have some, the 7 most unbelievable credit cards if you have less than perfect credit. Right? Again, a numbers, and 14 benefits most seniors didn't know they had. So I hope you see, once you learn this stuff, you start seeing formulas everywhere, and you'll start to see the how. You'll start to see the second bullet that we're going to look at, which is, the what bullet. So, this one is great for increasing greed glands for what you've got hiding behind the buy button, right? And you can ramp up the curiosity factor. So the first one I want you to look at, I'll just get rid of these real quick so you don't read ahead. It's cheating. What doctors and nurses don't tell you about surgeries in the summertime. I just made that up, but and why your mom and dad will read every word. You know, you even say why will. All right, so basically you start to see this part, right? So what doctors and nurses don't tell you about surgeries in the summer, this bullet is revealing a truth usually. You know, and even like that one, dirty lying brides, you know. So what you could even use that same type of formula there. So let's look at the next one. What police and 911 dispatchers ever do because they are powerless to stop it. And I made up that too. It's like, what are they talking? You know, like, how in the world can this be possible? Let's see, what else? We're going to look at, we're going to create another one. So what you'll never believe is hiding in your TV, I don't know, your movie theater, your local movie theater. You can even say like, health hazard, right? So there's no hard fast here. You can, a lot of times they'll add in stuff in the beginning of the bullet. Okay, so is lurking in your movie theater or your local, your local grocery, your organic foods, right? So it's like, ooh, what is that? I have to know. So that is something that that you can use, the what bullet, which is awesome. So it starts with the what. You can even change where the why bullet, where local and why 9 out of 10 full. And that's an extreme thing, but that's just, that's just, what came to mind. And then this one too, why your okay, so we've done 3 bullets there, just in that one, just in that one section, So we got the how-to bullet, how to get back every red cent you paid the IRS last year legally and without you can even say 100% legally, right? So we add a lot of specifics in here to get the point across. So how to get back every red cent you paid the IRS. We could even make it more specific in 2014, 100% legally and without recourse, right? You could even take this bullet. You can even say and why you'll want your accountant to do the same tricks. 100% ethical and legal, right? So that's a long bullet point, but it's like, you're writing a sales letter or you're writing a video sales letter, and you could, so we find it still has to, but we've added a of lead, right? Someone that knows that you don't, has like connection we don't have, but knows how to do this, right? So how Hollywood's elite never pay a dime in tax, corporate tax. Or you could even say, how Apple, Starbucks, and Paramount never pay a dime in corporate tax to the IRS. And why you want your accountant to do the same tricks in 2015, 100% ethical and legal. Okay, so who wouldn't read how that is? And why do we want to know? Well, we could have said America's biggest companies, but we said Apple, Starbucks, and Paramount. Or, you could say, I don't know, Ford. Never pay a dime, bunch of colloquial phrasing. And why you want your accountant to do the same tricks in 2015. 100% ethical and legal. All right, so that is a really good bullet because it's combining all of these things. How to, it's ultra specific, and it's also saying how you can do the exact same thing legally and ethically, right? Why you as congressman take so many vacations, and how to get every penny of the money back into your pocket. So, and these are sort of combining a little bit of revenge, some of them. It's like, why should Hollywood have it so good? Why should your congressman, to take all these fancy vacations and things like that? Is it legal to use, Craig is asking, is it legal to use a celebrity name in a bullet like you did? Yes. I mean, if it's, if it's a factual example, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on that, actually, but yeah, no one's gonna, I think you're fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Craig, I can hear you.
Russell Wilson is a hero in the sports world. I'm in the sports world. I'd love to be able to say how Russell Wilson, blah, 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 blah. And you can do the same.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, so like if I was going to say want to know the 9-step secret to Tiger Woods, 2003 perfect golf game revealed, right? Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
okay.
I think that's fine. You're not saying here's his personal financial information or anything. So I think you're fine. But that's a good question. The next one is the what never bullet, right? And this works the same way, but it's more of a shocker. So we already saw the first one, what never to eat on an airplane, the dirtiest, deadliest airline in the whole wide world. So it's actually offering to do two things for you. One, it's offering to tell you what you should never eat on an airplane because you don't want to get sick. And then it's offering to tell you which is the worst one. So it's kind of a double whammy there. This one, the absolute worst chemical to use to clean your kitchen and bathrooms. Some people are mistakenly using this on their kids. I made this one up, but yeah. So let's see. And then this also works for this one also works for the best or the greatest, the greatest perfume you can buy. So, and again, sometimes I add stuff to the bottom, to the back of the bullet, just to, you know, you can either add it to the front or back to increase the desire. So you would do that like this. Okay. And then before you go to bed, if you want to lose pounds, never to do, you know, what never to say to. Okay, so what never, also, you know, what always to do before you leave the house, and, you know, lock up the, you know, what you should always do before, you know, before you lock up the house and step outside your front door, if you want to, you know, not get attacked by thieves, right? Let's see, what else do we have here for you guys? So the next one is the numbers bullet. We sort of talked about this, and it works the same way. Just cut and paste. So 7 secret ways to train your mind to banish stress forever, right? A lot of times people put this stuff in here like forever. I just don't, because it's like, you can't really qualify that, but it's fast, okay? Or quick, or in a flash. You don't have to use all caps either. Sometimes I just like to do it. It's more of like a tabloid type thing that I sometimes do, just to give it that kind of flavor. 3 tricks you can use to fend off any attacker or threat to your family. You could even, you know, quantify this one. No matter if you're a couch potato or a experienced fighter. Okay, so, you know, again, working for all people, you know, you want to sort of go in there and you want to go in there and be, you want to be able to, you know, we're stripping back the onion, layers of onion. Okay. Whatever, you know, more, everything we added the sort of, you know, we could have said a few tricks, you know, but we said 3 ultimate tricks. You can even say 3 easy ways, or, you know, 3 underground tools, you know, 3 underground methods you can use to or threat to your family, no matter if you're a couch potato or an experienced fighter. You know, so we're just adding little things in there to make them believe that not only are they going to learn something awesome, it's going to be easy for them to do, and anyone can do it, right? So that's sort of like, you know, 7 secret ways. The secret bullet, you know, that's also another, you know, the secret. So 7 secret ways, 3 secret methods, you know, you could even dinner time, fat loss secret, you know, what never to eat before you go to bed, you know, dinner time fat secret, you know, you could even say new fat secrets, right? What never to eat before you go to bed if you want to lose pounds fast, in 5 and 4 days less. Okay, so we're adding ultra specifics. We're saying they're new. We're saying what never to eat before you go to bed. And then we're saying in 4 days or less, right? So all of that stuff is meant to anchor the fact. You know, it's much better than this one be like, you know, lose fat quickly by doing this. You know, that's sort of like a curiosity type, you know, but it's like doing what? You know, it's like, or, you know, why men are single longer today. You know, it's like, those are okay, but really lacking those specifics. You know, underground methods, 3, you know, you could say hush-hush methods or strategies. Okay, so we're just adding to the, you know, piece of cake that we're going to deliver to them. We're putting more frosting on it each time we add, you know, something like this. You know, you can use today, right, to fend off any attacker. And you could even make this shorter, no matter if you're a couch potato or an experienced fighter, right? So, does that make sense to you guys? She can't see what I'm doing. You should be able to see my screen, but we're recording this, so you'll be able to go back and see it. Probably tomorrow. John asked, are these bullets what we should be using for our headlines or in the copy or both? Okay, that is a really good question. The cool thing about doing exercises like these is that a lot of times you can take your best point and make that your headline, right? So now something like this wouldn't really work for a headline unless it was an article, right? So, you know, if we just put this, you know, we just put this on a new slide. So 3 hush-hush strategies you can use today. Let me just make this a little bigger. Actually, that is quite big. All right, let's get this larger here. All right, there we go. All right, so I like to make the headline shorter than this. This is a little bit like kind of John Carlton-ish, where it's, and John's, you know, a friend of mine. He uses these like 30. John's headlines are usually like, they're usually like, you know, this, like this, you know, large. Which is awesome because their stories and they're awesome. But but there's no reason for you, I don't think, for you to write that much. So headlines are usually, you know, you would start with like new, okay? New, you could even say under the radar, right? That's a very John Carlton way. Or, you know, black book. So new under the radar, new black books methods, you know, new black book defense methods. To be a headline, it's got to have everything sort of announcing it at one time, right? So new black book defense methods fend off any attacker, no matter if you're a couch potato or an experienced fighter. This works for everyone. Okay, so we would have a, you know, so this would be your headline, right? It's announcing something, or it's more clear, you know. If it was critical, yeah, you could do 3 new, you know, let's just make it a little clearer, you know, Navy SEAL defense methods, fend off any attacker, no matter what they are. And you could even say this works for everyone, no matter your experience. All right, so this would be your headline, right? And then, you know, so if you wanted to go in here and do something like that, you could. So, and this would be an article, you know, if you had something that a number in it. If you're announcing something, it's a little bit easier to make this just traditional letter headline like "New Navy SEAL defense methods fend off any attacker, no matter what size they are." And then this could be like the subhead, right? It would be a little smaller in font because it's below the headline. So does that answer your question? I mean, it's they have to be formatted a little differently to become headlines, but usually they're still totally applicable. Let's see, we already went through those. So if you're doing an article, then like an article with like at the end of the article you say, hey, you should join my webinar if you enjoyed these secrets, click here. Then this is fine. 7 secret ways to train your mind to manage stress in a flash. But usually in a sales letter, we are not giving that type of information in article format. So we would say, Army doctor discovers new, 5 new ways to train stress in a flash. Okay, so that would be a great example of a headline because you could tell a story around it. You didn't necessarily need to tell them what all 5 methods were. And this one is more of like an article type thing. But yeah, that's a really good question. And a lot of times I'll go to like big.com to get sort of bullet point ideas or headline ideas. Sometimes this doesn't work. Like this rabbit one holds no curiosity factor. Let's see. A lot of times it's just like a noun news, which doesn't, so one could, how do presidential candidates spend $1 billion and how can you raise the same amount of money for your project or startup, right? That would be a good bullet point. It relates directly to them in some fashion. Yeah, exactly, John. You definitely can, creating these type of bullets can get you in that mindset for great headlines. Sometimes, you're staring at the blank page, you don't know what to put in the stinking headline thing, So I just start with like, dear friend, the following letter is something that will greatly benefit you. Here's why, and then it's like, you go into who you are and why you're writing them and things like that. But the bullet points, kind of come at the time where it's like you reveal what's in the product or you reveal what they're going to learn on the webinar. On this training, you cover, 7 new methods to easily create bullet points which work for any type of sales letter, no matter if you're a writer or an advanced pro. Okay, so, what never to put inside of your sales letter copy if you want people to actually take you seriously. And you could even have like bullet points which, what never to put in your sales letter ever. So in list these with a new bullet. So basically, like, they're connected, but it's also like getting them to keep reading. So a lot of times in my bullets, I will put these ellipses in each and every single one, and I will also highlight every other bullet. So this one's different, because it's connected. But basically, I would highlight every other bullet with about 10. And then after those 10 bullets, I would put a subhead, right? So, and usually the subhead would connect to the bullet point. So why men are single today and how you can easily find your romantic interest tomorrow if you choose. right? So that would be tied into the bullet points, and all of those little things, the ellipses and so this is for scanners, right? This is bold, this is bold, this is bold. And then we also are getting them to keep reading because we're just getting them to go down what Joe Sugarman called the greased slide, right? And getting them to go down the page and keep reading the sales letter, right? So in the bullet point section, usually it looks something like this. This would actually be a little bit bigger, but you get the idea, right? And then this would be, you could add 20 or 30 bullets here separated by those little subheads. You know, you'll want to know this and much more, and then you have another 10 of them, you know. And then at the end, you just have like, you know, if you want to learn these secrets and more, buy this stuff. So, and you mix and match all these, and these are just 3 or 4 different, bullet points. Okay. Yeah, and Craig says Alan B. West, you know, he was constantly drawn to their headlines. Yeah, usually the more conservative, well, actually, it's not true, but usually like Newsmax, another like really conservative website, but their fascinations and bullets are just spot on. So basically, oh, I'm getting a lot of pop-ups here, sorry. So what I like to do is I'll go all the way down to the right-hand side, and I'll look at around the web. Okay, so looming White House in 2015, 81 unique uses for apple cider vinegar, MD's 10 tips to topple high blood pressure. So 10, how many tips? 10. Who is doing it? Someone authoritative, like an MD. And what will it do? It will topple high blood pressure. Let's see. And this one's okay. It's not that. It's very specific in who it is, but it's not telling me like what I'll really benefit from reading it, right? Okay, engineers call this the solar panel killer, which basically could mean like maybe I'll make some money in some fashion, you know, like not exactly sure. You know, one weird spice that will destroy diabetes. So what I like to do, and this will usually start a video, but I like to like exit out of the video, and then like usually what happens with these, and these are usually like financial sales letters of some type, is it will give me the text version, right? So stay on this page. So this is not even believable, but you know, basically, and it's really formatted badly because they're making me read like, you know, I like reading up to here usually, but they're making me read like all the way over to the right. So they're making me read all the way over, you know, all the way over, you know, this one all the way over, you know, when they could shorten up the scannability of it. But basically, I'm looking for the bullets here. You got any? Sometimes they don't. It's like terribly formatted, but probably making money, you know. Never mind, not seeing anything. But you know, you kind of get the idea that all right, he's giving me the thing. Solar panel killer. Let's look at this. It's the same. Oh, that's the one we clicked on. Sorry. Maybe just find one with some bullets. All right. So hush up cure for heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer has been censored, banned, and blacklisted until now. Okay. These are great sort of utilized, I think, by Clayton Makepeace because they bullet out either a nightmare scenario or something that's future facing them. So it's either like if you don't do this, then these bad things could happen, or if you do this, then these good things could happen, right? So, and you notice the descriptive language. Fog-filled brain, enlarged swollen heart, it can barely beat. You know, you learn that the colloquial phrase is turned heads. Dead in the water, right? So we use a lot of these type of phrases because they keep people reading. Not all the time, but you know, every couple of paragraphs for sure. Let's see, pipe dream. You know, you can see all these things for the bullets here. A lot of times bullets will just be like getting them to, you know, they'll take something that could be in a paragraph and they'll bullet it out to make people continue reading and like break up the copy here. Give them some eye relief. So all this stuff is sort of eye relief on the right side. These colored bars. And you're like, oh, it's a lot of copy. Yeah, it is. I'm not seeing anything there either. Oh, here we go. All right. How will this new technology heal you? And even if this isn't like what you'll reveal, they're not revealing a ton. They are just telling them, proving what they're going to, you know, show them by what happened. So, link retreat, tell them, see, a recent study of mice from the Journal of Cell Biology found that short hair follicles prevent normal hair growth, hair growth back. Okay, so they're using them as a way to sort of, you know, effective ways you can define pores of cancer that are still running wild. Clear arthritis right after joint delivery. You'll discover cures that eliminate inflammation and ease chronic pain. I'll show you how to keep it from coming back. So yeah, up in there. But I just want to show you kind of how they're doing it too. They paint up the letter, all of this proof that you can go back and look at, right? That's pretty darn cool. And they're doing a good job of dimensionalizing, demonstrating their claims, right? They have photos here. They have in each thing they explain they have a photo and what they're talking about for people that want more proof. You know? So it's a good little letter. For sure. I like this for eyes only stuff. I love that junk. Yeah, we can review some of your opt-in stuff. Let me go get a drink of water real quick. And Damien, are you still on here? You might be gone. Let me get a drink of water really quickly. And if you have questions or whatever, I don't really know how to share your screen. I guess I can pass the presenter role to you, Craig. And then, oh, he'll give me the URLs. Okay, cool. And if anyone else wants me to look at something, just let me know. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, I am back. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, sportsmentaltoughness.com/1.
So I developed all my words from doing a survey and went through the Ryan Levesque survey thing. And so that's what
cool,
people
man.
told me.
Very cool. Okay.
This one I built around me, like another one is built around, you'll see. Well, you'll see.
Okay. One thing I like to do that actually Bond Halbert told me, Gary Halbert's son, is to read everything out loud that you write.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just make sure it like passes the like some of the things I would maybe get rid of off the bat, unless your people know what this is this race. Because unless they know that unless that's an acronym that's like, oh, it's like this needs to be in here. You could probably take that out just to shorten it up.
Okay.
But let me just get this on a new page real quick.
The reason it's there, Todd teaches about the big idea, and I talked to him about that, and that my method is my big idea.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, because people are like, what's the race formula? I need to know what it is. Let's see. Yeah, I think just to shorten it up a little bit, what I would do is and I would maybe test two versions. One 93 point.
Oh.
Let's see. You could even just say erases. Or within 30 days. So So yeah, I would try maybe like 3 or 4 of these.
Okay.
I can like paste this into the chat for you. And just so like, you know, you could have some stuff to test as far as like the positioning. And then as far as like the bullet points themselves, let me just go back. And
Okay, after what you just taught, they clearly need some work.
Oh man, it's fine. I mean, I do this stuff all day, and you know, it's really just options, you know, that you have. Like, okay, what color do you want the house to be? So, you know, there's a house, and that's what you've got the cells there. That's the most important part. Yeah, so this one sort of doesn't pass the so what test. So
Right.
basically, you know, it's like it's not really going to benefit. It's like I might already know that, you know.
Well,
like
there's a better way to say this, but I'm telling
Right.
you, this is a huge frustration for athletes because I hear it all the time. I read all the books, I've heard from all my coaches, and I still have my problem.
Okay.
And they're dying to know the reason.
So you could say something like, this is just off the top of my head. You know, the real reason why reading sports books and training materials never translates into inner confidence and clarity and how to get right. And you know, you could kind of do a different benefit than that, but
right.
You know, you kind of whoops, what just happened? You kind of get the idea. You could say achievements, right? And how to turn the tables, you know, and how to, you know, reverse your sad track record in just days.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yep, I get the point, yep.
And then, let's see. You know, you could say something like everyone has a greatest hits loop of their worst failures and you know, shameful you know, sports performances that they can't let go of.
Yep.
You know, here's the 30-second secret to shutting off that tape forever, you know, or whatever the solution is. You know, here's the 5-day, you know, or the 7-step, you know, shortcut to silencing those negative voices once and for all.
Yep, got it.
You know, and this one's pretty good. I would say this one's sort of like halfway there. You know, sick and tired of being at the level you're at, channel the feeling of disgust to break through. You know, I would say something like everyone knows athletes who have hit plateaus, you know.
Yep.
Can't, you know, or you can even say afraid of having your own Tiger Woods performance meltdown, question mark. Here's how to put up defensive strategies so that never happens to you. Or, here's how to lessen the odds of something like happening. Some kind of whistle. So yeah, it's like, every athlete is afraid of having a, performance meltdown or decline or a rapid decline. Here's 3 simple tips to get out of a performance rut fast and see your, times or numbers go back up.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the changes that I might make with that. Let's see. I know you had some more stuff.
Well, if you can just change at the end of the URL, just change 1 to 2. I just used a different big idea. This one
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, the same format, a different big idea. It's all about I'm going to tell like the story about the Holy Grail of, which is in all my surveys, this is what they tell me is their problem.
Sure, man. I mean, it's all the mental thing, right?
Yeah, they can't control their thinking.
One thing I would do would be maybe say like how to manipulate your brain, how to ethically and honestly trick your brain or manipulate your brain for the ultimate sports performance, right?
Ooh.
So something like that, where like they're manipulating their brain, they're tricking their brain. The Harry Houdini method to tricking your brain into doing exactly what you want.
Ooh, I like that. They're gonna love that.
Yeah, so something like that, where it's like, even like making it, the big eyes, and it could be, like Todd teaches sort of like that, the sort of end of America. You could be, with the Porter Stansberry, you could have something like, the Harry Houdini method for ultimate sports performance. Did you know that there is a simple way to manipulate and control your deepest thoughts so they work in your favor to heighten and excel your sports performance?
Maybe do like a little, maybe like do a little magic. Hit refresh, you'll see a big picture comes up on the left. For some reason, it's not loading there. I just slapped this. There we go.
Right.
So maybe I have a new theme that's all like magic feel theme.
Right. Yeah, and you could even have one like you could even have one that's like handcuffs.
Yeah.
So you could go get a iStock photo. Let's see. So iStock photo, you get it for like $1.
Yeah. No, I can get that. Just do like a Google image search. So maybe you could do a Google image just to get something.
Yeah, and so you could test it, and then if it works, you can buy it.
Yeah.
So basically, like this one right here, something that's like sort of mysterious, and that you could even say like, you could even do some research and kind of say like, Harry Houdini. You could even say like the 103-year-old, method, which works to banish fear and doubt and create your ultimate sports performance, right? So it's like sort of this big idea of, is there an athlete or a magician or, someone famous that we can sort of say, is using this sort of brain power technique, like it's like how people hold their breath for a long time. It's like the willpower trick used by J.D. Rockefeller, Harry Houdini, and, the world's best athletes to increase, your ultimate sports performance. And that so yeah, that's sort of like my idea on that.
No, that's awesome. I'll put that up there.
Thanks, man. I hope that, so it's like world-renowned escape artists. You could even have something like, world, and I don't know, I'm just giving you an example here, but
Yeah.
World-famous escape artist uses
Yeah. You can harness. I like the whole. I totally like that. Now you can harness this power to trick your own brain to do what you want for ultimate sports performance.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I would do some research to kind of see, is there something like with willpower or training your body to earn your mind to do different things?
Yeah.
And you can kind of have examples in there, because that's much. And the reason why that's a big idea is it's like, well, this is the mind trick that Harry Houdini used, and it's like,
right.
Well, so it sort of takes that thing that Todd talked about of something that makes no sense, meeting something that makes no sense, and then but putting them together, and it's like, that's the big idea, like the Harry Houdini willpower method for sports performance victory. It's like, well, what? So it's like you're going to read the second sentence of the copy,
right.
And that's really all that the big idea is, so.
Quickly, can you throw number 3 at the end of sports mental toughness?
Sure.
Because I did a different format, one of those really simple ones, and I'd love your guidance on that. Oh, that's amazing. Willpower hack. I like, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
Just put a 3 in instead of the 2.
Okay.
So Todd has a big background like that of him teaching on a whiteboard. I kind of stole that idea. I mean, I would fix that so it spreads a little better and looks a little better.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would just say silence your inner critic and eliminate your nervousness.
Okay.
Within 30 days, and then I would say works for 93.2 of athletes tested.
Well, do you think this format, this really simple thing, lends itself better to the Harry Houdini theme or the standard thing I started with?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you could test both and see.
Okay.
You might have a layout difference of conversion. I think all you can do is sort of test and see. And but yeah, if you could find something like that, even if it's like, an athlete or a famous person or a, some type of, I think that then you're on something, where it's like magician uses 103-year-old, willpower hack to, create death-defying feats. It's like use the same trick to, like world famous escape artists used willpower hack to demolish fear and superdrive confidence. Learn how to use it on the sports fields of your choice.
Right.
Works with 93.2 of athletes tested. So it could work, it could not, but I think it's interesting, and I think that's that's the hallmark of a big idea, is it makes you sit up and go, what is he talking about? You know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I like it. Thank you very much.
the
That's
George
awesome.
Bush method of, you know, I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, happy to help. And I think Peggy had, Peggy, did you have something you wanted me to look at? Let's see. She said she had a couple headlines. Survive your partner's affair, index 2. Okay.
Yeah, so, hi. What we have is, this is the end of our opt-in. It's for couples where one of the partners has had an affair and they want to work things back together. And we have the opt-in, we're getting about a 33% conversion rate. And then it goes to a 46 question survey. And then once they finish the survey, then it goes to the index 2 sales page. And what it is a video, it's a 90-minute video on how can I trust you again.
Right.
I would love some feedback on the headlines. I mean, it's definitely written the way it is. And then the second one, just the /trust, is in our funnel, our follow-up email series. We direct them back to the /trust page, as opposed to, thanks for taking the survey, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Have you tested things like the header graphic versus no header graphic?
I have not tested anything really on this.
Okay, because it could be interesting to kind of take away that whole black part and just have the white part.
Okay.
And let's kind of move up the letter a little bit. But yeah. Okay. So congratulations, server results are on their way. Read this important message. Let's see. Can you make whatever you want a subhead on here?
You can. I can change any of it.
Okay. So something like this would be I would make this a subhead.
Okay. I'm having computer issues. I can't see what you're doing. I'm stuck on a Google screen.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess I'll come back and watch the recording when it's done.
Yeah. So basically, the third or fourth paragraph, it says, "Read on. The next 5 minutes will be pivotal in saving your marriage."
Right.
I would just make the next 5 minutes will be pivotal in saving your marriage. I would make that a subheadline. So, increase the font on it, make it center aligned, and I'm going to dictate this here, and then you can kind of go back and watch and see what I'm doing. The next 5 minutes will be pivotal in saving your marriage, so that would be a subhead. I don't know if you need that read on. I would say, one thing is clear, and then I would have you know what, I'm just going to put this on a new page here, so I can help you out. Okay. Can you see this Microsoft Word document?
No, it's.
Okay.
I always have trouble with just me. I'm not sure why.
Oh, it's all good. Let me. Okay. Well, we're recording it. So, okay. So, one thing is clear, and then this would be a title case for the thing. All right. So I'm just formatting it a little bit here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I like this. The real trust. Without real trust, you're trying to build a new structure and a hollow foundation. You need trust in completing everyday tasks. Control is not trust. Yeah, I would just have more sort of like highlight. I mean, I think this is good. I also think you could have more hiding in here. Like you could bold more text. You could have more subheads. You know, like every 8 or 9 paragraphs, I like to pull out the copy and do a headline that sort of sits in the middle of the page, sort of like the one trust is more than feeling secure. You know, I mean, I think stuff like that is okay, but you really want to you want to get them into the letter, not just saying like platitudes, but really by you say many therapists and counselors do not understand what trust is, either expecting them to help you build trust when they don't know what trust is asking for disappointment. What I would put here instead of trust is more than feeling secure is something where you're revealing something in the next section, like why should I keep reading this letter? Or is it because I want to learn more about about feeling secure, or do I want to learn how to turn a weak foundation into the rock? And I'm sort of, this is off the top of my head, but basically there has to be sort of like a different reasons for them to keep reading the letter. And I think what you have here is a good start, but I also think so without real trust, you're trying to do a new structure on a hollow foundation. I put that and replace that where it says trust is more than feeling secure, because it's sort of just like an empty phrase to me. It's sort of like they know that already. And what I would say is, let's see, I would say what therapists and other experts don't understand is what therapists and other experts don't understand is a new structure is needed because the old one has been destroyed, or so sort of giving them something where they're like, okay, I understand the trust is broken. Oh, it's a foundational issue, so it's basically like, I would have a headline, what therapists and other experts often miss is the fact that new structure or a new foundation needs to be put into place to since the old one has been ruined, or since the old one no longer supports your marriage, right? So I would just say, and after the headline, I would say something like, when the affair took place, whatever foundation the marriage was built on instantly crumbled to the ground. In fact, you might have thought that it was easy to repair and gloss over the mistakes and just move on, or add on the foundation. But the fact is, the foundation that you once held so dear is destroyed and needs to be replaced completely. And then have like a new paragraph which says something like, the good news is it's very easy to start to depend on your spouse more and replace that foundation that was, that has now ended, what I'm trying to get is, like, does that make sense? Like, you're basically trying to just say, like, look, what therapists don't understand is usually you can't just add on to the foundation or repair the foundation. You have to completely gut the foundation and start over again with a much stronger building blocks in place that won't, perish, spoil, or fade, right? And so then you would go on and say, if you want to depend on your spouse, there's an easy way to start rebuilding that foundation, and that is, trusting them in everyday tasks. So I'd like to see some rephrasing there. I don't know if that helps you or guides you in that way.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some paragraphs in here that you could probably take out. And by that I mean read every paragraph and sort of say, do I need this in order to really be believable? And to order, do they need to believe? Basically, like, there's a couple things that you should understand when you're writing copy, and one of them is what does the person need to believe in order to buy this product? And the first thing they need to believe is that the first thing that you want them to believe is that therapists are often wrong about their prescriptions for fixing a relationship. And the first thing they try to do is, prescribe rebuilding or, repairing the foundation, and maybe the foundation was built on this or that. But the harsh reality is you can't just repair the foundation, because what it was built on before is probably not going to hold up a second time. So then you would paint the analogy and the argument of, while experts and other people mean well, this foundation needs to be ripped up and replaced with something, much more effective. And it's like, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But right now, what I want to talk about is the fact that not only can you rebuild the foundation, but here's a great way to get them to start trusting them again is, completing everyday tasks. When trust is broken, everyday events come to a screeching halt, but you can, repair them again. So basically, like, maybe you would take that part out, but basically, like, you want to say, here's the reason why, therapists and other people that usually try to help you, that you would pay good money to, or could be wrong or mistaken about the advice, and that's because you need to replace the foundation completely. A lot of people think that they can replace the foundation by controlling. Control becomes your new foundation, and here's why that doesn't work, right? And then the next headline could be, how, what's the ultimate solution if controlling, bribing, and begging doesn't work, right? That could be, instead of that, what's real trust, you have a headline like that, which basically would introduce your book, so if bribing, yelling, and controlling doesn't work, where does your marriage go from here? So that could be the headline, and then below that you would say, the good news is not only can your marriage be saved, it can be stronger, happier, and more fulfilled than ever before. Here's why. A few years ago I wrote this book, and so then you introduce how can I trust you again. But the paragraphs in between the control is not trust and the what is real trust, you can definitely shorten that and definitely put like more subheads in here. But for this portion right here where you talk about trust is more than feeling secure, it's like you could say something like, here's why common solutions like therapists, counselors, and even your best friend often does not fix your marriage. And it's like foundation, the reason number one is best friend or counselor might suggest that, the foundation that you are on just needs to be repaired. You just need to be more patient. Maybe you list like 4 or 5 things that they say, right, in like bullet point format, and then say, here's why this is incorrect, foolish, or even harmful to your relationship, is because your foundation needs to be totally replaced. And then like the bad news is a lot of people try to replace their foundations with these bad things, right? And then you list out the bad things, and then you say, but there is a solution, one that doesn't require you to use faulty or incorrect foundations, and that is, this guide, right? So hopefully that little outline helps you to clarify and, distill the message there. Some of the bullet points, like what is trust, what is it really, I would just kind of go through the bullet exercises that we did and add some more specifics. Numbered bullets like 7 ways to restart trust, which start working even the day after the affair, or like, what if he's lied to my children? 3 things to say to prevent further lies or manipulations of your emotions. You could have ones like, what's a good boundary to have, or, barriers of the home, like when should you let the offended party back inside your life, let alone your home, like, should you text or talk on the phone, like, answers revealed inside, and the 3-step plan to start communicating again effectively and with real love and commitment, so hopefully that helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think this is good. And instead of saying like what's on this video, I would say like here's how this information will instantly help you to rebuild the right foundation, or rebuild a lasting foundation. How can this video help you to easily and effectively rebuild your foundation, on a rock instead of on sand? And then I would just look at the bullet points and really make sure that that those deliver, a real solid punch of information, even let's see, even like, in the testimonial says, I no longer feel powerless. Maybe one of your bullets could be, stop the spread. Affairs can damage beyond partners. Or are you expecting too much? Here's how to stop feeling powerless about, what you can and can't change, and, the shortcuts to handle emotional stress and upheaval without paying, fancy, psychiatry bills or something, so giving them concrete things that they can put into practice, one thing I like is like Reader's Digest, rd.com. That's a good place to kind of go and see, are my bullets strong and are my bullets descriptive, and 5 key life lessons many people don't know. That one's a little vague, but basically like 5 key relationship boosters, most therapists don't know, page 3. So you're giving them things that they can immediately put into practice. Why am I sick again? 4 health problems that can feel worse during summer. Why is my trust, or why is my confidence so low? 7 easy ways to make your mind a steel trap. Let's see. ways cleaning your kitchen wrong. 11 ways you could be fixing your marriage. 11 ways you could be harming your marriage. And how to stop each one quickly. So just going through. So I let my daughter play with a stranger at the beach, and then learned this. So I started talking with my husband or wife, a few weeks after the infidelity, and discovered this shocking fact. And that was, most people are talking too soon, or most people aren't talking soon enough. When do you reopen the dialogue? How, 7 trigger words to never say, 7 toxic words that will trigger an emotional meltdown in a man or a woman, and what to say instead, right? So things like that could help. And John had one. So Peggy, does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense. It helps a lot.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think being ultra specific, is something that we discover over time, and you could even look up something like what's the average divorce cost in America, and sort of have something in there, which says the average divorce in America costs XYZ, according to whatever magazine. It's like, here's how you can save, and so like once you reveal the price of your stuff, just say, hey, the average divorce in America costs, $7,000, and you're getting this for only, 3 payments of, $197 each. We think that's a bargain, and our the readers do too, and then you put in some testimonials. So things like that can definitely help, like the letter. But yeah, I think you're off to a good start.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, who is next? John, I think, was next. I got your Google Drive.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, John, how you doing, man?
Okay, I'm doing good. Hey, great information you're giving. Thank you.
No problem. I'm glad that it's still working, and I always expect these things to just like crash. So,
I totally understand that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, we've gone for almost 2 hours, so very cool. Okay, so tell me about this.
So what I'm doing, I'm in the weight loss industry, and I've got a coaching program that's doing pretty well. And right now, what I want to do is offer a live event. So this is a letter that I'm going to mail out to all my current clients. And so I just want to make sure that I have a relationship with all of them. So I don't want to come across as kind of sterile to them. I want to still have that relationship. But I want to be able to make sure I'm giving them enough information and the right type of information to compel them to actually sign up for this retreat that we're going to do.
Okay. So let's see. So this one right here, when you make a claim, like in the first sentence, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this type of thing, Current likes to say something like, imagine losing 27, 34, and even 41 pounds of fat in the next 12 weeks without the stress and struggle you might currently be dealing with. Sounds like a stretch, right? I wouldn't have believed it myself unless I saw it happen to my clients, or unless I saw it happen to me and my clients, in record time, right? So sort of anytime we make a claim, usually, hopefully we can back it up with like sort of some type of proof or whatever. If we don't have any right then, we can just kind of address that skepticism head on and say something like, sounds like a stretch, question mark. I would have thought so too, unless I had seen it with my own eyes and my 300 clients or something, in fact, you'll learn that's just the tip of the iceberg when you see what the fat burning intensification process does for you. Let's see. I would have something like, one question you might be asking yourself is why you haven't seen this process before. The reason is I haven't taught this process because of the precision and complexity it requires. I would just say I haven't taught this process due to the fact that it is not for everyone, or the people that follow the program have to be uniquely motivated to finish it. But new resources are making it far easier to get ahead. So with the encouragement of many people, I'm ready to unfold this process for you. Before I reveal this shortcut, before I show you this powerful method, I need to tell you a quick story. Okay. I would just say, you see, that season I rarely hit the ball and never got on base. Okay. I would make this a headline.
Okay.
To just basically keep them reading. So let me. I think I'm like highly visual here, so just get the. So I'd make this one a headline. And then make this one a headline. So basically, like, you're just kind of keeping them reading. And let's see. And then, like, right here, I would make this a headline. Let's see. Instead of saying individualized, I would say something like custom made. Like just make the word smaller. Let's see. I made this one small change, and the results were almost immediate and without a doubt breathtaking. The same drastic changes that you want to see in your fat loss, overcoming an obstacle, or getting your mindset right can be as easy as custom fitting the tools to fit you perfectly. And I would say something like, what if we could streamline and shorten this process so you achieve maximum results with the minimum amount of effort? And what if we could tailor the program to your exact needs quickly and easily? Let's see. I would say something like, if we work together one-on-one, or, if we work together to accomplish this, the following results are very common from my clients. You'll find, or you'll discover the way you eat forces the good fats into your metabolism and sheds pounds and inches of ugly fat every single week. This is at the same time, this works even if you enjoy a cookie or sweet or candy fairly often. You'll see how the workout programs and exercises you do will, let's see. You'll see how a few easy and quick switches that we flip in your workouts and exercises will increase the calories you burn during the workouts and skyrocket the fat that you lose after the workout. Plus, you'll find many of the reasons that you're having joint pain and back pain will disappear or lessen. Finally, you'll discover new mindset techniques custom tailored to your mind to literally think yourself thin. I would have thought this was a joke until I had seen it work for myself. The bottom line is, with the right tools custom tailored to your body and mind, you'll see what may seem like near instantaneous results in no time flat. Or I would just say you'll see results very, very quickly instead of like this whole near instantaneous results. In fact, these tools and many more make up what I call the fat burning intensification process. It's a very long phrase, but it gets very good results for myself and my clients. So that is sort of the, I would have a headline here. Your body doesn't work or function like anyone else's. Due to that fact, you need a very specific custom solution, and that's what this is. This is due to the fact, and I would bullet point this stuff out, just so they can scan it. Let's see. I would make this a headline. Let's see. I would make this a headline. I would do, instead of saying I will take care of all the hard stuff, I would say I will do most of the heavy lifting for you. And I will personally make sure everything is simple and easy to follow. And I would just kind of bold stuff every now and then, like every 3 or 4 paragraphs, I would have some bolding, right? So she actually lost muscle and didn't lose any fat eating that much protein. Or, I'd find every 4 or 5 paragraphs I would bold something, and every 9 or 10 paragraphs I would, I would have a subhead in here. This could be a headline. This could be bolded, just to keep them reading. And that's really all I see. I think this is good. And I would just say, instead of thinking about fat loss for a moment, I would say, if you suffer from pain, this could be the solution, So if you suffer from pain, please read this carefully. And then, I would bullet point this stuff right here. And then I don't know if you need like this. I don't even know if you need these couple paragraphs right here. I think like once you sort of said, once you've introduced the program, it just needs to be like all about what they get, So like this forces us to move differently. I'm not sure that you need this part. I think you could pull out any kind of testimonials or results and just start stacking the results, like results number 1, let's see, quick solutions to lifelong health issues, right? So this could be, like testimonial section. So I would just make this a little bit more curiosity based. Like, let me introduce to you my friend, Roy Croft. Quick solutions to massive health problems. The problem was this, the solution was this, and then I think you could probably get rid of this one. You just I don't think you need it unless there's like a story in there. And then I would have another testimonial section. And then I would say, would you like the same results or better? ? Right? And then, you kind of go on here. Let's see. Yeah, the rest of it I think looks good.
Okay. All right, yeah, we got lots of work on, so all the stuff you gave me I think will help out quite a bit.
Yeah, man. And then I would have maybe like photos of the bonuses,
Okay.
So like stacking up what they get. And I always like to say, like, you get so like when you're so this free gift you're getting keeps growing. So far you're getting new workout gear, the ultimate shortcuts to learn, and books and solutions, and then premium pampering supplies and more. Let's see. All of these gifts are designed to shortcut and supplement the process of of losing fat quickly, or whatever the ultimate goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then I would just say, like, here's what to do next. This retreat will fill up fast if you're ready to know what your body specifically needs to reach. Let's see. So yeah, so hopefully that helps you, and yeah, happy to help. Very cool.
Yeah, well, thank you.
No problem, John. Anybody else have something they want me to look at?
Lawton?
Yeah.
Just a quickie. I've been on the whole time listening, and also kind of in the background looking for info on the magician trick, the shortcut magician trick, which there isn't a whole lot, but you know what there is a ton of, and I don't know if this is too boring or it's actually just right, the Buddhist monk mind control stuff. There's a ton of that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find something like, you know, a little village in Southeast Asia, the mind control, the mind control switch that was flipped on inside a little village in Southeast Asia, right? So like, and how you can use it too for spectacular sports achievements.
The
that
shortcut
would probably be for like more of an article title, but something like this on the screen, where like you go into like what it is and how to get it, and that, you could even do something like you could even do one of these long form pages. Like it doesn't have to be this long, of course, but like 3 or 4 pages with like an opt-in box at the end.
Yeah.
So it would be like an article. You could put, the long, attention world-class athletes. That could be like the subhead. Up here, and then it's like, who else wants to know the forgotten, the forgotten mind trick, new, I would just say like let's see, I would say forgotten mind, mind control switch, discovered in a little village in Southeast Asia, or wherever,
Yeah.
It's like, you're about to discover how one, man who was only like 4'7", is using this trick to overcome the mental obstacles and blocks in his way. And you'll see how to use this for, massive sports achievements in record time, and I would say, like, dear friend, I'm writing you this letter for 2 reasons. The first is because your mind is your enemy and you need to learn how to control it quickly and easily. The second is your mind is probably costing you victories, sports medals, and massive embarrassment. Here's how to fix all of those problems, right now. And then before I get to the solution, let me tell you a quick story about Southeast Asia and the man who discovered the mind trick switch and switched it on,
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. All right. So you think that could work, huh?
I think so, man. Yeah, especially if you can find like, Filipino man, or very very short man from Manila, or whatever. If there's a specific example like this one monk or these 7 monks or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
actually it's all over that would be pretty easy to find that. There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and I would say one Gary Halbert thing. He said like this fat loss secret works in Europe, and I'm pretty sure it can work in America too. So you could say something like this mind trick solution works in Asia, Africa, and I'm pretty sure it can work in any town USA as well. And then it was like, here's what it's all about, and then you go into dear friend, this mind trick solution works in the during my research, I've discovered this mind trick solution to work in these countries, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it can work for your country or town too. Here's what it's all about and how you can benefit, and then it goes into, you know, what we just talked about. So,
Yeah. Perfect.
yeah, man, I think that's a fun little hook.
All right. Good. That was it. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And Craig, you said you had a question?
That was it. That was it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. That was it. We're good.
Does anybody else have anything? If not, we will end this month's session. Thank you guys for being on the call and for listening to me yak on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And we'll get you this recording. I'll get it to Todd in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Beautiful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.